Hey, it's Chris, Liege Games. What if I told you 2 potential Game of the Year candidates are launching this upcoming week on crowdfunding? How would you feel about that? Intrigued? Piqued? Which ones are they? What do you need to know? Let's do this. I'm going to break it down for you so you can figure out in advance how you're going to budget. Let's go. Roll Liege. So here I have in front of me one of these potential Game of the Years. Now, a lot of people were talking about this one even in the past year, but it was not given the desired respect on the first time around from crowdfunding because people looked at it and they kind of poo-pooed it. I looked at this and said, whoa. Hence, I have a copy, right? I didn't buy this in the secondary market. You don't buy Game of the Year on the secondary market. You wait for them to come around. That's what you're getting here this time around. But if you're not familiar with Guards of Atlantis II, this is the closest MOBA-esque video game style on the tabletop that you're going to get. Now, the tricky part is, and this is going to be the biggest divisive element, the recommended player count is 4 to 10. 4 to 10. This is also going to fill a niche that you don't have in your collection, but you may not need to fill either. But that's why it's so divisive, and that's why a lot of people are split on it, because you can manage it with less than 4, but really what you're going up against is a 2x2 lane battling, asymmetric, pick your factions, pick your heroes, and go at it to win over your opponent in a zero luck competitive system that's card-based, inspired by the computer games of similar ilk. Now, it wouldn't be unlike the video games if they didn't control a single hero multiplied by their little minions, as well as using a card-based play to maneuver them, use your special abilities, attack your enemies, and just conquer the areas that you need to control. And those areas that you need to control are your enemy's bases. I mean, like, all of your base. We need to do StarCraft and control other people's bases in this game, and you're doing it via lanes and, individual asymmetric heroes, which are immensely deep. And essentially, what they're going to be doing in this campaign is a reprint because it hasn't been available at retail. One of the ones that truly said, we're going to crowdfunding, you're not going to get it elsewhere, here you go. And they stick true to it, just like Townsfolk Tussle did the other week. And this is what you're going to see, and you're going to see more of the heroes. You're going to get more of that. I'm guessing you're going to get more boards, more maps, more terrain, things that are going to give it a little bit of a niche. Now, it's got an amazingly fantastic 8.6 rating over on Board Game Geek right now, which, for any number of ratings in total, is, pretty insane considering, it's got almost 600 ratings. That cannot be understated. Now, 600 is not like 1,000 or 23,000 or whatever you want to put Carcassonne or, that style of things at. But for a game so niche, to not be flawed necessarily, 8.6 is relatively highly consistent as well. The question just is going to be, how much are you afforded, or how much are you willing to pay on the reprint? Because I guarantee you people have been scalping this on the secondary market for 2 to 3 times the price that they paid originally on the crowdfunding campaign. And as always, my advice is never buy secondary that much. If you pay a little premium, sure, you don't scalper price it, you just don't. You're not missing out on anything in your collection that otherwise. But if you have any inkling in terms of, if you have any prospective interest in this style, because you can do 2-player, it's just going to be a lot more juggling metaphorically and literally in terms of the hands that you're going to have to control of these heroes, minions, factions, abilities, and keeping track of it all overhead wise. Can you do that? Absolutely. Does it get rave reviews? Absolutely. Am I going to have my review out on Monday? Well, I'm hoping so, but that's where it's going to be going, and you're going to know everything you need to know if you tune in and subscribe, because there's more where this came from. Now, this aside for a second, this is launching on Tuesday, the 25th. This was the big one. I'm going to market that one as the main one to watch out for, whether or not it's the most funding. The other one is going to be your sleeper hit, but it's a joint venture between Burnt Island Games as well as Grand Gamers Guild. You may remember Grand Gamers Guild. They just had their Tier Nog Irish-based board game with Tableau card management set collection fund over on GameFound. Well, now in collaboration with Burnt Island, they are bringing a new version of Endeavor to the, well, not high seas this time, but the deep seas. Now, you may be more familiar with its predecessor, Endeavor to Age of Sail, back from 2018. Now, that seems like a long time ago. It is, but at the same time, this is a game that is relatively speaking, much better. This reminds me of the game I talked about on the news video this past week, Beyond the Sun. If I asked you where you thought Beyond the Sun was, not many of you would say, hey, Beyond the Sun is a top 100 heavy Euro game. Well, where do you think Endeavor is ranked? Endeavor Age of Sail is actually ranked 140th right now. 140th, the 98th best strategy game. So if you're implementing a better version of this, right, a 2.0 version with a deep sea thematic incorporation, as well as a modular board, which is going to bring more replayability, they say, you should be really intrigued. This is going to be smoothing out those rough edges of a game that's already considered, you know, by ranking alone, a classic. It's sticking now, not far from the original. It's sticking with the core concepts and the core mechanistic approach that brings the greatness from the original game, but entirely new type of board and actions, as well as a Ramble game that's going to be different, but sharing sort of the linked mechanics of the Ramble in the first place. Mechanically speaking, not more complex. Strategically, though, if you like that, boom, that's where the complexity is going to be ratcheted up a few notches, and not ratchet and clank, but just, you know, more difficult. Now, the nice thing about this game is that it's going to give you a very, very good overview of what you need to know already prior to the campaign. If you go over to the Game Found page, you can find this work in progress rulebook that I am gently scrolling through. Not only can you be playing against your friends, with them, or even without them. So competitive, cooperative, as well as a solo mode in a scenario-based situational system that's going to be different every single time you play it, because of these ocean boards that are going to be zoned off and giving you different depth as you go throughout. 4 different options of being able to play it, including a 5th player option, to 5 different people being able to play this game all at once, with asymmetric specialists, team leaders, as well as the double-sided scenario sheets that are going to be at your disposal. Deluxifications galore in terms of wood upgrades. I would imagine they have a few other things in store for us along the way. Your specialists are going to be your make it or break it from anywhere tier 1 to 4 or 5 even. That's going to give you the special abilities. The gameplay is broken down into 4 phases here, as you can see. Specialist recruiting, disc supplying, and then clearing them off to take your turn again, performing the actions until everyone can't go. Your symbology is going to be heavy, but you're going to have to learn it fast because it's relatively intuitive, but if you learn it too slow, you're going to be left out in the dust behind the strategic approaches of your opponents. They break you down all of the actions that you're going to be taking here, including sonar and diving and conserving. So all of the thematic incorporation that you're looking for is there as a whole. If you're looking for anything else, though, I mean, wait and see, because the Game Found page is going to tell us what the final score is actually going to look like after it launches. Many people are going to overlook Endeavor, I think, Deep Sea, but we're going to see kind of what Game Found's trickle-down effect it can have, because this is not a household name in the board game geek hobby scene of things. But clearly, based on the facts and the description that I laid out for you, it's got an amazing pedigree in the first place. But can Game Found hold the home court and give more of a funding than, say, Kickstarter would in something like this that isn't as widely known? That's going to be the interesting test point. Now, the last one up, the third one on this list, is going to be your sleeper hit of the week. We'll see what Modius Game Design has in store. If you may remember, Mini Express, Mini Railroads, sort of a slighter, tighter, smaller package version of like your train game style situations, right? And this is Etariya. You've got 2 different things going on, this duet of games. One being Septichroma, where you have a lightweight 2-player abstract, 2 civilizations on an island trying to go up against the gods of light and darkness, trying to control the biggest domain that they can, as well as the Elvian Relics, which turns more of an exploration process on its side as a 2 to 4 player strategy type game. So interesting, right? Now, with the Septichroma, you have more of a lightweight abstract. To 2-player, it's going to be separate areas of light and dark on the game board itself, with plastic overlays that are going to give you a different layout each time you play. Not a whole lot of other information. Thinker Themer apparently is going to have a video on it. They just sent out in the press release email as well. So, you know, if you watch them, they're going to have more info, and we're going to kind of see. But I mean, Mini Express is relatively well thought of from a design aspect. I would imagine this is going to be as well. They're going to have a bunch of add-ons they talk about as well. Art book, playmat, blah, 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 blah. But as a little bit of a sleeper hit, hopefully we'll get a little bit of attention and a little look-see when it goes live as well. I think actually on the 24th. Interested? Tweaked? Peaked? Let's do this. That is why it's the third one on the list this week. So what else do we have going on? Well, I'm going to be doing a quick hits video as well, coming up very shortly, maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day. So I'm going to give you strong opinions, strong crowdfunding know-how, all in a short summary, hitting as many campaigns as I can all at freaking once. That is going to be up as well. The other thing that we have to announce is we have to announce the new winners of the 7K giveaway, because I never got responses from the previous winners. Drum roll, please. Aggressive Asus and James Pope. If you're one of those 2 people and you want a copy of Uprising, Curse of the Last Emperor, and its expansion, send me an email down below with your deets. so I can send it out to you and take care of things and give away these games I've been trying to give away. So if not, I'll just draw it again next week until somebody gets a hold of me. Also, in case you missed it from yesterday, the winner of last weekend's what game am I going to review next on the short list? It's going to be Keep the Heroes Out. So in the next week or two, I'll hopefully have a review out of this, timed appropriately with the other reviews that I have coming out, time-wise being very, very much the key there. Lots of videos to do, little time to play games, and even less time to film. So, you know, there's going to be some delay, but don't take, despair if it doesn't come out right away. It's sitting right here next to me, waiting, itching, going to be coming soon. Now, since you guys like that, what else did you miss out on? What else did you miss out? Well, no one told me, okay, I want to buy a game. I want to buy a hot game. What game should I buy that's hot that needs to be reviewed, right? That's what you want to see. That was the clear winner of that. What game I should get from retail right now was clearly out the window. So maybe we'll just skip that as well if no one's interested. What else do you want to see? I've got a few new thoughts on features that I'm going to be talking about on the game channel as well. And I'm trying to up my production, my thumbs, my titles. So any thoughts, any conclusions, any help you want to give me there? Help me help you, right? That's all I got. Stay classy. Only got one Band-Aid on right now because I forgot to put another one on the thumb. So the other one came off earlier, but workout today was nasty. Go outside, get some exercise. I'm working all freaking weekend, so it's going to be nasty between work and then getting some stuff done around from this aspect of things. So that's all I got. We're watching the Kids Junior Bake Off right now with my 7 and 9-year-old on Netflix. They're digging it. Hopefully it'll translate into them actually wanting to try something besides like the most plain food ever possible that they eat all the time, that they won't eat anything that doesn't look, sound, or taste like it has actual flavor. So we're hoping that that's going to translate a little bit as well from that aspect of things. Other than that, you know, again, workout today was nasty. I did 2 like 12-minute workouts. Man, it was 25 box jumps. Then I grabbed a 35-pound plate, not just like a barbell or a, dumbbell, but like a 35-pound plate, and it's like ground to overhead, 25 of those. And then you just grab the plate and you do weighted sit-ups with that plate, with 35 pounds, right? With 35-pound sit-ups until your time runs out. And you do that on a 3-minute cycle. So you do 4 rounds of that over 12 minutes. That was a little nasty. That was the cardio aspect of things. The other one almost killed me more. Toes to bars. If you know what I'm talking about, toes to bars are insane. So what it was 20, 15, 10, 5. I mean, that doesn't sound like very many reps, right? Like 20 toes to bar, and then I had to do 20 push presses I did 75 pounds there, and then 15, 15, 10, 10, 5, 5. And that one was, the first round was terrible. Toes to bars are just, I need to do them more because it's a hard exercise. But anyway, that's all I got. Stay classy. No one's watching this part anyway, but I'm going to talk about it because I love it. I'm watching a K-drama called Mouse right now. I just picked up another one called Don't Leave Me, I think, which is a French thriller about crime, and I'm not going to go into it because it's a little dark. But that one as well. And there's a couple things like Queen Maker that I've got my eye on from Netflix, but I don't know if I'm going to pull the trigger anytime soon, so the other two have got me. But the Mouse one, the K-drama Mouse, it's just kind of jumped the shark, right? It's about this psychopath gene that people discover, and then they can start like checking people's genes for psychopath, and they can like outlaw it, or they can like prosecute them because they're going after it, or they're concerned they're going to commit crimes. And so then there's the psychopath that kills people, and then the detective that he's being chased by kills him. But then this is the twist part of things, spoilers here if you don't want to know this, but in case you're intrigued, you might be actually more piqued by this. In the battle, the guy gets brain damage. And so they actually, unknowingly to him, they transplant part of the psychopath's brain into his brain, and then the subsequent of what happens after that. So it's good. I think it's jumping the shark here a little bit at the end, though, so take that for what you will. That's all I got. Stay classy, play some good stuff, play more stuff than me, because it's going to be a long weekend. Thanks for watching. Help me hit 10K. I'm going to hit 10K. I am putting the gears to this channel. I got a new intro in my head. I'm going to be filming a little bit after this. Give you guys some, stay classy. Have a great freaking fantastic weekend. Hope it's warmer where you're at than me.